Shalom, shalom. Right into it. See if everything's all right. Okay. All right, we're going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh by Shema Bashah. Shalom to the Apostle, Brother Elder Great Millstone. Shalom to the whole. Shalom to the whole for the elect. Shalom. The title is The Words of Prophecy. All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. 2nd Ezra 9, verse 1. It said, He answered me. Then it said, Measure the time diligently in thyself. When I shall see, when I see past of the sign past, which I told you before, thou shalt understand that it's the very same time within the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, which he made. Verse 3, therefore they should be seeing earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world. And thou shalt well understand that the Most High spoken of those things from the day that was before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and the end is manifest, right? The end is manifest. Say Exodus 15, verse 1. Behold, speak in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I told without putting in thy mouth. Read again, 2 15, verse 1. Behold, speak then in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I put in thy mouth, said the Lord. I cause to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not imagination against thee, let not a critic of the trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in the unfaithfulness. Behold, said the Lord, I will be plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wicked hath a city pollute the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more to touching the wickedness, which that profane commit another, I will suffer them in those things in which the wicked exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cry unto me, and the soul unjust complaining continually, right? The soul unjust complaining to you. 2nd Ezra 15, verse 1, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right, let's get right this right here.
Meteoric growth.
It's happening on multiple fronts and fast.
The U.S. and China, two superpowers on a collision course over the future of Taiwan.
It would be very difficult for the United States to determine whether an incoming missile attack was conventional or nuclear.
There are satellite images, and what they appear to show is rapid construction at several suspected silo fields in China.
10 years ago, this arsenal was around 50 or 60. It's now over 100. We see them deploying larger numbers of nuclear weapons. The way that we talk about Chinese nuclear weapons and the risk of war with China has sort of forever been altered by these discoveries. This is sort of an oh shit moment. My name is Decker Wolf. I am a satellite imager analyst specializing in Chinese nuclear forces. We can use satellite imagery to look at the rocket bases, and we can use it to see the movement of launchers and supply vehicles to their forward operating bases. Things like ships mustering, troops moving to ports, those sort of signatures.
The cornerstone on which to build national security. That is how President Xi Jinping described China's rocket force.
The People's Liberation Army Rocket Forces is one of the main branches of the People's Liberation Army, which is China's armed forces. It is one of the biggest missile-related armed forces in the world, and they cooperate with the other branches of the Chinese armed forces to facilitate conventional operations, like, for example, a theoretical invasion of a place like Taiwan.
For a fifth day today, China conducted military drills in waters and airspace around Taiwan.
Taiwan is perhaps the most sensitive flashpoint between the U.S. and China.
China's ultimate goal? Take back Taiwan.
There are a lot of targets in Taiwan that China would want to destroy on the ground. Taiwan's air force, cruise missiles, and Taiwan's ground forces could be softened up before China would stage an assault on Taiwan. While a serious attempt to invade Taiwan is very unlikely in the short term, satellite imagery would be a very useful way of determining whether or not China was attempting such a thing. The vast majority of the People's Liberation Army Rocket Force's conventional missile arsenal is stationed in the proximity of Taiwan. Any serious attempt by China to do an amphibious invasion would be preceded by a mobilization of those missile forces. So it's very important for us to look at those sites and see how a serious attempt to engage Taiwan militarily would play out.
More missiles. This time, the DF-26, compatible with both nuclear and conventional warheads. The DF-26's advantages are strong mobility and flexibility in launch location.
The DF-26 is a very important aspect because not only do they want to take Taiwan militarily, they also want to deter the United States from coming to Taiwan's assistance. The DF-26 theoretically has the capability to engage ship targets from beyond the horizon.
Leader Xi Jinping promised reunification with Taiwan.
U.S. forces, U.S. men and women, would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion.
Yes.
You can see right here, again, look at how big this shadow is. This is another new high bay facility to accommodate the fact that the DF-26 is a much bigger missile, and you need to have infrastructure to support those things. And so if we go back here, you'll see that this was not here in 2019, and then you skip forward to 2021, and they've built this specifically to accommodate the DF-26 missile. Because the DF-26 can carry both conventional warheads and nuclear warheads, it would be very difficult for the United States to determine whether an incoming missile attack was conventional or nuclear. So if the United States want to try and strike a DF-26 launcher before it could launch, it's not clear how much that military strike would trigger a more serious reaction.
Eyes in the skies watching China's fast-growing military.
Pentagon claims China is increasing its nuclear arsenal at a much faster rate than the U.S. anticipated.
Me and my boss had been hearing these rumors, and they were saying that current assessment of the size of China's Silo forces was much too small. There's a known training site in China called Jilantai, and it's the place where the Rocket Force goes to practice things like missile launches and training their forces. And so at this facility, there's a bunch of test pads. We started seeing these very large inflatable covers go up. So when we looked at these, and when we looked at the supporting infrastructure they built here, we can create a signature of what similar sites could look like. So as I was going through China, I noticed a site near the city of Yumen that had covers. So we looked at the covers at Jilantai. And when we looked at the sites at Yumen, the covers that they're placing there are exactly the same. And they're all in this very particular geometric pattern, and they're all spaced exactly the same length apart, 3 kilometers, and they're everywhere. They're up and down the valley. And they again have these cables running between them. We see the underground command structures they're building over here. We see very clear signatures of a military facility. This is the main area up here. There's an admin building. There are garages. There's a track and field because people are going to, work here. And they're going to exercise here. One other very interesting signature of Rocket Force bases is that, they're launching missiles. You want to know the weather. And so at these facilities, they all build weather stations. These weather stations all look really, really similar. So that's an additional signature we use to identify these facilities.
We are witnessing a strategic breakout by China.
New satellite imagery showing what analysts describe it as an unprecedented nuclear buildup in China. Not one new silo field, it's 3, and not just a few new missile silos, it's hundreds.
There's 2 big things as to why this was such a massive change. The first is simple numbers. The previous number of ICBMs that China had was around 70 or 80 at this time period. So to see them building 330 was really significant development.
China is pushing to develop its nuclear capabilities, its strategic intercontinental capabilities.
This could signal a very serious change in China's nuclear posture. Now that they've built them, it would be much easier for them to shift their strategy to be a lot more, not only aggressive, but use these weapons in ways that would make the risk of war between the United States and China much more worrying. On the list of things that keep me up at night, I think it's around number 3, after climate change and North Korean nuclear weapons.
Here's to living every...
So you see here, okay, let me right up, messing up. All right, let's get right into these scriptures. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. It say, "For every battle of the world is with confusion, noise, and garment rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fury of fire," right? Burning. Fury of fire. Isaiah 34, verse 1. It said, "Come near, you nations, to hear, and hearken, you people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, his fury upon all their army. He had only destroyed them. He had delivered them to the slaughter," right? Delivered them to the slaughter. The slaughter also should be cast out. The stinks shall come up out of their carcass, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the heaven and all the hosts of heaven should be dissolved, and the heaven should be rolled together as scroll, and all the hosts shall fall down as a leaf falling off the fig, from the fig, and falling off the fig tree. For my soul should be bathed in the heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Aduma, upon the people of my curse, to judgment. Right, to judgment. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and a year of recompense for the congregation of Zion. Isaiah 47, verse 1. It said, "Come down and set in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, set on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of Chaldean, for there shall no more be called tender and delicate." Verse 2. Take the millstone and grind meal, overcut thy locks, make bare thy legs, uncover thy thighs, pass over the river. Thy naked shall be uncovered, yet thy shame shall be seen. And I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Right. Verse 4. As for a redeemer, the Lord Yahweh, by Shema Shah, host is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Of Israel. What else? Joel 3, verse 1. Joel 3, verse 14. No, let's go to verse 11. Joel 3, verse 11. Assemble yourself and come, all you heathens, and gather yourself together round about. Thou cause the Almighty One to come down, O Lord. Let the heathens be weak, and come up to the valley of decision of Jehoshaphat. For thou would set to judge all the heathens round about. Put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. For the harvest is reap. Come get you down, for the press is full. the fatness overflow, for the wicked is great. Multitude in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision, right? The day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon should be darkness, and the stars should withdraw thy shine. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. Is it? Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. No, verse. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what he shall answer when I am reproved. The Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read it. For the vision is yet for upon a time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It would not tarry, right? It would not tarry. Go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. It say, think not that I come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword, right? But a sword. Read it again. Matthew 10, verse 34. It said, think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace, but a sword. Right? Matthew 16, verse 1. Matthew 16, verse 1. The Pharisee also with the Sadducee came in the temple, desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, it would be far, it would be far weather, for the sky is red. In the morning it will be far weather. Today, for the sky is red. And Lord, O you hypocrite, you could discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern the signs of the time, right? You could discern the face of the sky, but can you not discern, discern the signs of the time. What else? Matthew 24, verse 3. And he sat upon a mountain Olivet, and disciples came to him. Privately said, tell us, what should those things be, and what should be the sign of thy coming and end of the world? And Yahweh shall answer and say unto them, take heed, no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, say, I'm Mashiach, and deceive many. You shall hear of wars, rumors of wars. See that, be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, and pestilence, and earthquake, and diverse places, and all these are the beginning of sorrow, right? All these are the beginning of sorrow. Matthew 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for its witness to all nations, and then should the end come, right? And then should the end come. Matthew 24, verse 32. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When yet branch yet shoot, when his yet branch yet tender, and put forth leaf, you know that the summer is not. So likewise, we should see all those things, know that is near, even at the door. Verse 34, verily I say unto you, this generation should not pass till all those things be fulfilled. Right, till all those things be fulfilled. Luke 12, verse 56. Luke 12, verse 56. You hypocrite, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how it that do not discern this time, right? Discern this time. Luke chapter 12, verse 56. You hypocrite, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how it that do not discern this time, right? Discern this time. Right, discern this time. Let me see what time I got. Oh, I keep forgetting what it was yet. Alright, we're just gonna get right to it. We got that much scriptures. Let's go to Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed he that readeth, and hear the word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand, right? For the time is at hand. Let's go back to Revelation 11, verse 14. Revelation 11, verse 14. And the second woe is past. Behold, the third woe coming quick, right? The third woe coming quick. Revelation 11, verse 14. The second woe is past. And behold, third woe coming quick, right? Third woe. Revelation 1, verse 3. It said, blessed he that readeth his word of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Right, for the time is at hand. So that should be it. Just want to get to that. I forgot the title. The word of prophecy. So, yeah, let me see. That should be it. Yep. Right. So yeah, the time is at hand. So I'm gonna close out right there. So we're gonna give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Shem Rashah, Shalom to the Apostle Blood, the Elder Way Millstone, Shalom to the Wolf elect, Shalom. The time is at hand.